and welcome back to Contemporary Black Voices. And so today's topic is the Florida State debacle. And so before we left off, we were talking about Greg Jerami, and two questions. One, should he be prosecuted? And two, the reason for this what appears to be a scam. I'll just say it. So again, so Chris and I was talking off camera about the potential reasons. And so one thing to note, it's a private corporation, and he was turning over private stock. And so we don't know how many universities he went to. We know the University of Texas laughed at him and hung up. We know Coastal Carolina backed out of it when he didn't fulfill his early financial obligation. And so what Chris and I were talking about is maybe perhaps one of the reasons, his motivations for doing this. And so one, him assigning a value to this stock, right? The self-assigned value to this $15 million stock transfer to Florida State. And so it appears to me that he's looking for a university to legitimize the value of that stock. And so once that university legitimizes the value of that stock, he can turn around and say, well, guess what? Now I have another $200 million worth of that same stock that you've now confirmed is worth $15 million, which makes him a billionaire. You know what I mean? Or multi-billionaires, depending on the stock evaluation. And so it looks to me something that was scammy from the beginning, and him trying to legitimize the stock that he still has in reserve by getting a university to give a valuation of whatever stock that he donated. And so with that being said, there's a couple of regulatory bodies. Of course, there's the MIMF from the Department of the DOJ. The SEC has their own regulatory bodies. And so my question is the DOJ, will the FBI be knocking on his door? The DOJ might want to have a conversation with him about stock manipulation and financial fraud. The SEC might want to have a conversation with him as well. And so should the feds be knocking at his door, Chris?
I don't think so, because, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to ask you about that. You mentioned at the beginning of the segment as to whether he should be prosecuted.
Right.
What did he do that was illegal?
Well, he tried to manipulate its financial fraud.
And the key to what you just said is he tried to. He didn't get any benefit. Nobody bought off on it, okay? So he never got to perpetuate his fraud that he wanted to do. If he had did that, then maybe there might be something to prosecute him for. Right now, number one, if he had legitimate stock, the SEC, he would have already had in place somebody who would have had to go through a vetting process within the SEC before he could have even got it to Florida A&M. So when you talk about all of those things, there are different things that had to happen beforehand, even before he got to that point.
Well, no, it's private stock, but so.
But I think SEC also regulates private stock too.
Yeah, they regulate. They have something to say about all stock. But my thing is this though: if I climb through somebody's window to steal their TV, and they dopeman chases me off, the police still gonna want to have a word with me, because even though I didn't get the TV,
but you broke it.
I tried to get the TV. But then let's say this. You know what I mean? You could apply it like this. I might have walked into a bank and tried to rob the bank. You know what I mean? I didn't get any money. I got chased out, but I tried to rob the bank. You know what I mean? So no, they still want to have a word with him about market manipulation. They're gonna still want to have a word with him about fraud, because in essence, what he did, what he tried to do was defraud Florida State. And so if Florida State would have actually taken this stock with this $15 valuation that he gave them and tried to sell, which their intent was to sell the stock within a year.
I don't believe this guy's got any money.
He ain't.
Okay. the FBI, the SEC, I don't think, just like UT.
Right.
I don't think they're gonna waste their time.
No, they gonna want it. They go because the problem is when you do this market manipulation, right? It affects what they call the confidence of the broader market, right? So,
and let me stop you there. If it was a white university, they would put his ass under the jail.
They're gonna put his ass under the jail anyway because you try to manipulate the market, and everybody's money is in the market, and so that's one thing they don't play about is their money. So they're not gonna look too kindly on any kind of a fraud or any kind of market manipulation or anything like that. So I think they might. The problem is they don't. The FBI doesn't speak through public statements. They speak through grand juries and indictments. Right. And so I think when we do hear something about an FBI investigation, it'll be on the news when they're walking him out in handcuffs, because that's how the FBI speaks. They speak through indictments. And so,
well, let me ask this question. If you're saying Coastal Carolina, if he tried to do something there.
He tried to do.
Why did the SEC
and now that they're aware of it, now that they're aware of it, I'm sure they interviewed Coastal Carolina, they interviewed UT, they interviewed everybody else every other university he approached. They like I said, they speak through indictments. So there's the investigation phase, which they're probably in right now. And once they gather enough evidence, and the FBI doesn't arrest people lightly, when the FBI knocks on your door, their case is going to be pretty solid. So, and it's I don't want people to think that I'm advocating for a black man to go to jail. I didn't put him in this situation. I didn't tell him to do this, so I'm not advocating. What I'm saying is, I'm saying, hey, this is if you're listening, get your affairs in order. You know what I mean? Because this is the way it works. I worked in the market. I worked for a bank for quite some time, and I had my investment licenses for quite some time.
You do?
Yeah.
Series 6?
Yeah.
What?
And 70. I got Series 6, Series 67.
Right here.
No, but yeah, that's why. Yeah, I worked for quite some time. But
wow.
They just like I say, they're gonna want to have a conversation with him. So, but I'm not advocating for it. I'm just kind of informing our viewers how this thing could play out. And so. But again, to my understanding, that was probably his motivation for it. You know what I mean? Kind of some fraudy type stuff. But
well, this has been a good. I think it's been a good, informative, especially for our audience, to be able to look at this and determine what's going on in Black America. And unfortunately, this is not one of the stories that we embrace.
Right.
We're sorry that it's happened.
Right.
To these people. Again, as I said many times before, I really hoped that this would have been the fact, but it hasn't. Right.
And I keep pushing this, and I keep saying this. I said this multiple times on the show, and I think you and Fred keep trashing my idea. But we need a common HBCU endowment. We need one large and federally funded endowment.
I don't disagree with that.
Well, you had before.
Nah.
We need one large
and then you
common.
Have to go to an HBCU event. Okay, and after that, hey, I'm right.
Yeah, hey, there we go. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we did attend a HBCU event. And matter of fact, we did one last year too. Remember, we donated to the HBCU send off for those kids.
Man, I didn't know what I was doing. I just gave it to you.
Man, you gave to HBCU kids.
Did.
So, but no, we are big supporters of HBCU. We're 100% big supporters. HBCU graduates the majority of doctors, the majority of our lawyers, the majority of our engineers. We love them. We support them. We'll continue to support them. We'll continue to donate. We'll continue to give to them. But again, I'm a big advocate of a one huge HBCU endowment, federally funded. The feds need to kick in, and they need to set up a large endowment so that our kids can to get the education that they deserve. And so with that being said, Chris, closing.
No, I think it's been very good. I think hopefully at some particular point we do some shows that deal with HBCUs, what's going on with them, and as you talked about, the larger endowment of how we do things, because it's time for us to recalibrate the way we do business.
Yeah. And so again, donate to HBCUs, and that way our schools won't be so desperate to fall for tricksters and hucksters and so desperate to grab this kind of money. And so Florida State, they needed money. Their stadium needed money. So this fund was something that they really wanted, because it was going to go toward a lot of different programs and a lot of different activities. So the onus is also on us. So please donate to HBCUs, HBCU scholarship funds, and that way it's up to us to take care of our own institutions. And that way, again, we can avoid situations like this. And so with that being said, again, we thank you for joining us today on Contemporary Black Voices, and stay tuned for Hot Topics. We got some really good topics coming up for you. We're going to talk about a bleach, blonde, bad build, body, whatever but we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. So that's coming up on Hot Topics. And of course, we have our crazy Texas governor that pardoned Daniel Perry, the murderer of a young man who had
Black Lives.
A Black Lives Matter protester. So we're definitely going to talk about that. We got some really good stuff coming up on Hot Topics. So please join us for Hot Topics.